It's stupid because it's very likely to go to zero.
I don't personally understand the value of something that has no actual value.
There's no relation between value and usefulness.
If these clips are anything to go by, you would assume Bitcoin is one of the worst investments you can make. On any given day, there is someone new saying how Bitcoin will go to zero, and this is highlighted when Bitcoin is dead is slowly creeping to all-time highs on Google Trends. But most crypto enthusiasts will argue this is just FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. This is just the rich trying to scare the retail investor whilst they buy in at a much lower price. Simple market manipulation. No matter the side you're on, the question remains in the back of everyone's mind. Can Bitcoin fall to zero? Even though Bitcoin has existed for quite some time, there are still plenty of critics who believe it will eventually disappear forever. Berkshire Hathaway Vice Chairman Charlie Munger, the right-hand man of famed investor Warren Buffett, reportedly declared that Bitcoin was very likely to sink to zero, adding that the cryptocurrency was stupid and evil. The truth is, any cryptocurrency's price can go to zero, as demonstrated by the Terra Luna price crash in May of 2022. However, for something as popular and valuable as Bitcoin, some major shifts would have to occur for such a catastrophic loss of value to occur. The most likely threat to Bitcoin going to zero is the regulation and taxation of cryptocurrencies. Governments will eventually step in and regulate crypto. This is already starting to happen across the world. Some countries are trying to outright ban crypto, whereas others are trying to find ways to regulate the asset. Put simply, governments are not known for leaving money on the table, so it seems reasonable that they would want to get their cut from crypto transactions. Bitcoin was designed as an alternative currency with no single person or entity controlling it. Its decentralized nature means that there isn't a governing body that can change the rules or implement new ones. This is one of its greatest strengths, but it also means that if governments decide to crack down on cryptocurrencies, there's not much anyone can do about it. Global cryptocurrency taxation standards vary greatly between nations, and some governments have adopted extremely stringent crypto tax policies for their citizens. According to a new report conducted by crypto analytics startup CoinCub, Belgium is the worst country in the world in terms of crypto taxation for its inhabitants. Belgium is well known for its 33% capital gains tax on crypto transactions, as well as for deducting up to 50% of professional income from crypto trades. If governments around the world decide that they will not allow cryptocurrencies to operate freely, making them illegal to own, then crypto will lose its value. It becomes way too risky for anyone to own. People don't want to invest in something that could be taken away from them at any time. On the other hand, if governments decide to tax Bitcoin transactions, then investors are more likely to lose interest in using it as an investment vehicle. Since Bitcoin's creation, it has outperformed all traditional investments. Most crypto enthusiasts hope that regulation will help crypto go mainstream, as it's much easier to adopt when the government backs the asset. But if the government regulates crypto to the point where it's no longer a lucrative investment, investors will pull money out and find higher returning investments. With regulation, in the worst-case scenario, Bitcoin will decrease in price but won't go to zero. Even if governments ban Bitcoin, there will still be other countries that will happily adopt it. The real threat to Bitcoin is Tether. Over the last few years, Bitcoin has been through a lot of ups and downs, but one constant threat to its success has been the potential collapse of Tether or other stablecoins. Tether is a cryptocurrency that's supposedly backed by the US dollar at a 1-to-1 ratio. That means one Tether coin is equal to $1 US. All of this sounds great on paper, but I did choose my words carefully when I said Tether is supposedly backed by the US dollar. There have been rumors over the years that Tether may not actually be backed by real dollars, that instead it's been printing more coins than it has in reserve. Most traders use stablecoins to cash out profits into something more stable, whilst they wait for other coins to drop in value. If Tether is not backed 1-to-1, not only is Tether affected, but so is the whole crypto market. Tether's collapse would trigger a crypto version of a bank run, potentially toppling exchanges and cratering the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The root of the controversy is whether the company behind it, also called Tether, is telling the truth when it claims that every unit in circulation is matched by a US dollar it holds in reserve. If Tethers are not backed by a matching number of dollars, then Tether can print an arbitrary amount of money. Likely, a significant increase in the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies has resulted from this asset being printed out of thin air, which is highly worrying. If Tether were to collapse completely, it would cause havoc on the entire cryptocurrency market. Traders will lose faith in all stablecoins and cryptocurrencies alike. The lack of confidence would lead to further declines in prices and even more panic selling, which would cause an even bigger crash across all markets. Tether also helps stabilize cryptocurrency exchanges in various ways, so its collapse could also cause some exchanges to topple, wiping out billions of dollars of investments overnight and potentially vanishing the public's growing interest in Bitcoin. And what makes this even worse is that there's no way for us to know if Tether will collapse or not before it happens, which means we could lose everything overnight. It would certainly be a catastrophic event which will produce a crash like never seen before in crypto, but many believe people will conclude that Bitcoin itself was not the result of the crash, but instead Tether was a bad actor within the crypto community. Really, the only way Bitcoin could go to zero and stay there is with the creator himself, Satoshi Nakamoto. Can you imagine the price of Bitcoin if Satoshi Nakamoto were to sell his 1.1 million Bitcoins? Well, if this was to happen, the market will be flooded with more supply than demand, which will cause Bitcoin's price to plummet. Bitcoin is built on a foundation of anonymity. The creator of Bitcoin has remained anonymous since launching the currency in 2009, and no one knows who he or she is. If this anonymous founder were to sell his or her coins, it would be a huge blow to the value of Bitcoin, as surely many other investors would sell their coins if they thought that this mysterious person was suddenly cashing out on their investment too. The reason is simple. Satoshi owns roughly 5% of all Bitcoins in circulation. That's more than any other single person or entity owns, including the US government, which owns approximately 1%. If Satoshi were to sell all of his coins at once, he would send a strong signal that he no longer believes in Bitcoin as an investment, and that could cause other investors to panic and sell off their coins as well. As a result, the price of Bitcoin could plummet to zero. His anonymity has worked synchronously to promote the idea that Bitcoin was above any one man. It sure reminds people of masked heroes who work for the greater good without as much acknowledgement. Despite repeated attempts to ascertain his identity, Nakamoto has remained unknown. Several people have been proposed, but none have been proven to be Satoshi Nakamoto beyond a shadow of a doubt. And in theory, it would be easy to prove you're Satoshi Nakamoto if you actually were. Remember, Satoshi has 1.1 million Bitcoins. All he would need to do to prove his identity is transfer a small amount of crypto to another address. But none of the proposed Satoshis have given any credible evidence to prove their identity. The most likely scenario is Satoshi Nakamoto is dead. If Satoshi is still alive, the creator of Bitcoin goes down as one of the world's best-kept secrets, which seems impossible to believe in the modern day. Satoshi Nakamoto being dead is a sad scenario to think about, but it does mean those 1.1 million Bitcoins will never be sold unless someone magically gets access to the wallet. The truth is, for Bitcoin or crypto as a whole to go to zero, a severe black swan event must happen, and Yale University economists put this down to a 0.4% chance. Not only does this black swan event need to be something disastrous across the whole crypto market, but it also needs everyone to lose faith in Bitcoin. Bitcoin going to zero is extremely unlikely, but Bitcoin going down in price is another question. There are loads of bad actors in the crypto community, and none of them is as bad as Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried's net worth went from 16 billion down to just shy of 1 billion in a single week. He was crowned the crypto king until it all came crashing down around him. This is a story of money, power, and ruthless financial warfare. It's seen as one of the biggest destructions of wealth in our generation, and you can see the downfall within this video. It's these types of events that lead to massive Bitcoin crashes.